This week on TagMe, we're listening to the latest and card information, and we're going to be talking about some tournaments in the area. Yeah, good turn Ryan Knight on. I mean, yeah, I don't know what kind of things he's into. I prefer long walks on the beach, sunsets and sunrises.
Yeah, I'm thinking Ryan Knight might more so enjoy destroying neurons.
Yeah, he might be. His is very. He's a very cerebral kind of guy. Sure, gamblers and hedge funders, Bioroids and clones, the Northern Gaming Network is back with another episode of TagMe. I'm Alex.
I'm Kevin.
And we are deep into the heart of Store Championship season. So we're just going to jump right into some delicious Netrunner-y goodness with Kevin talking all about his latest Store Championship experience.
Here in Fredericton, we've had 2, locally 3 now. I was only able to make 2. Of the local area store championships, and so far they've been A, poorly attended, and B, well attended. I think the one yesterday was the best attended, the one I couldn't make, unfortunately. But the poorly attended store championship that I went to, I won.
Well, congratulations!
Thank you. The old,
what was your record?
6-1. How do you go 6-1? Do you ask?
I was about to.
You have an identical record as another guy, and split your only rounds during Swiss. And rather than doing a coin flip, you decide to do a 1-game sudden death playoff.
All right, that seems like a pretty good choice. Now, for your 1-game sudden death, how did you decide who played what side?
Oh, I flipped a coin. It's just,
Just flip a coin? Okay.
Yeah.
What did you end up...
I think I held a white dice and a red dice, and the red, whatever,
Yeah, just...
Some means of randomization. I took the very popular Wizard Faust deck, and the not-so-popular Near Earth Hub Butcher Shop / Fast Advance deck to that one. And, Wizard Faust went. It was the only. It dropped the 1 game to an NBM rush that just rushed me.
I had problems with the same thing.
Very close.
Yeah, NBN Fast Robotics I found was definitely the hardest matchup for that Wiz Faust deck, but I think that's true with probably everybody anyways. It's one of the hardest matchups to play between that.
Yeah. I mean, he just outrushed me. I, may have made a few bad calls. I may not have put enough pressure on early enough because I've not had the same trouble in other matchups. But he got the pieces he needed when he needed them, and was able to use them. I kind of picked around agendas in some cases. So just the stuff that happens in Netrunner.
Oh yeah, totally.
Even as I'm losing, I still feel confident that I'm going to win. It's just, a random quantum predictive model behind a data raven that kills me. So,
oh, that's such a sweet
yeah. Play. The single death or the single game sudden death match was a rematch of that, and I won that one 7-0. So, there was redemption there, but that Wizard Faust deck, I think they're calling it Devil Cakes, or I've seen it called something else. I forget what it is. That thing is just running rampant right now. It's not that it's unbeatable, but it's easy to pilot, and it puts on an insane amount of pressure.
Absolutely, and I think this is the same deck that we talked about last time that I took to Store Championships, and I also had another Store Championships since last time we talked, which I continued to play the same deck, and it continues to do well. So,
yeah, it's It's good.
And I believe Matt took it to his store championship as well.
Matt took it to a game night kit.
Game night kit. Oh, okay. He took it to game night kit, and I think it went undefeated. He did a slightly different variant. He did the cutlery version, where you. Oh, did he? Okay. Yeah, you and I were playing no cutlery, more virus with data sucker and parasites, and more clone chip options.
And the so that was my run of the Corp, was just staying our near the hub, with AstroScript, Beal, and Explodepalooza, Quantum, and 15 minutes. I think it's the agenda suite, and you rounded out the influence with 3 Scorch and 2 traffic accident.
Yeah, so you cut a traffic accident to try to get into the whole most wanted list influence issues, right?
Yeah, so AstroScript is 3 Scorches or 12, and 2 traffic accidents make 17 with the AstroScript. So
you didn't find that slowed you down, or did you have any problems finding your kill pieces?
No, the deck is almost unbeatable, except for the part where it does the thing that Near Earth Hub does that Harpsichord doesn't, and it bleeds agendas.
Yeah.
Normally that's good, but sometimes it can bleed just too fast. So those are the times I lose. I think, specifically in the local meta here anyway, Plaskreet's gonna have to make a comeback, because in the last Tour Championship and the one yesterday, another local player, Chris, who's been on before, he's playing a CEI combo deck with the power shutdown and accelerated diagnostics. I think he's packing Scorches too. I think Scorch right now has made a complete 180, and it's really killer. In the second store champs I played, I swapped out Wizard for Edward Kim and made a few other adjustments just to try to make Edward Kim work, but it still ran the the adjusted chronotype, Wildside, Faust, Backbone, with the data suckers and all that. I had Run Amok in there. I pulled that out and I put in a Demolition Run.
Yeah, how did you find that fared? I know, because for myself, Run Amok did a lot of work and was almost MVP for when I played it.
Yeah, Demolition Run is awesome, but I learned that it's what I call a win more card. I mean, if I find the place where I can say, Demolition Run will really help me out here, I've already won that game.
Yeah.
So Demolition Run is useful for when I have wide open access to R&D and a medium with 4 or 5 counters in it already. Like, that's a winning scenario, because the Corp has to stop and purge their entire turn, or put ice, which I'm just gonna destroy the next turn ananyway.
Right, and if you're gonna demo,
they're in a no-win situation. I'm in a win-win situation. That's where Demo Run is really good. And I thought, so I've since pulled that, because it doesn't help me in the matches that I struggle with, where I'm just having a little bit of time or struggling to get set up, running a little bit slowly. Inject is what I'm replacing Demo on.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what matchups did you have a hard time with after switching to Kim?
I lost in the second Star Championship. I came in the middle, but there were 4 or 5 of us tied for second place with a record of 5-3. I lost to with that deck. I lost 1 game, and I lost it to a Netrunner hub.
Okay. Now, was that because you had difficulty trashing assets? Was it because they're so fast?
No.
Were they a kill deck?
I think that game's on tape too. I might just accidentally delete it from the. It was bad. I made a few play mistakes. I had a Liberated account out, and then I clicked for a single credit, and I was like, click for credit.
Oh, no!
Passed it over to Nicole, and she's like, Did you maybe you want to take them off the Liberator? It's like, no. I made the mistake. It's stuff like that. I made a few wrong calls, and also Edward Kim trashes a lot of operations, which is good when you're playing someone who's playing a fast track Astrobiotics deck. But I constantly picked around the fast tracks from her hand. So, she's got 5 cards in hand. I get 4 accesses on HQ. I know she has a fast track. Don't see it. Next turn, she fast tracks out to other master script. That's Netrunner. It happens.
Yep.
I felt Edward Kim very good. I didn't get a lot of good Kim matchups. I was hoping to play Chris in his CI shutdown deck.
That would have been
interesting.
interesting.
CI combo deck. Yeah, because he plays like 24 operations.
Yeah, it's a lot of operations in those.
Yeah, so I think Kim would have just... I don't know. I would like to see how Kim works. Trashing an operation every turn might help him out because, he wants them in the bin anyway. But might not. Like, if I get all his accelerated diagnostics in the bin, then he's in rough shape.
So, yes, I just want a quick hiatus just because you mentioned Chris's CI deck, and we haven't seen Cerebral Originating for a long time being, played competitively. At least I haven't. How did he fare?
He came in second in that one. He won yesterday. So
nice.
The deck's very strong.
So
it's
works.
Running a lot of... And I think what it is, I think there's a card coming out in the next data pack. I don't know for sure. This is just rumors because I'm kind of spoiler free. But I think there's a card coming out that just nullifies CI. It's like, this card, because it exists, CI just can't work anymore. I don't know that for a fact. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's... I do know that for a fact. It was officially spoiled. It's the Netrunner equivalent of Magic's Plow Under card, which essentially says if you can make it a successful run in HQ, instead of accessing cards, put all cards on the top of R&D. Right, so essentially,
So it takes all of CI's full massive hand and just...
Oh, yeah.
Stack of R&D. Oh,
yeah, so
man,
it's just like
that would
all
be so
of the
brutal.
time you've been working, you're almost at your... Yeah,
that's going to be a
done.
good... I'm going to be very interested to see that card. I haven't seen that official spoiler, but, we're not usually one of those type of podcasts, Kevin.
No, like, this has been officially spoiled. Like,
on the
Fantasy
FFG.
Flight released an entire article just on this one card.
Interesting.
Because it was the 2013 World Championship design card.
Oh, that one has clearly slipped through my my reading, so I'll have to go have a look at that one. That sounds very interesting because it's going to be functional against, everybody, really. Astrobiotics decks, glacial decks. You just want to, get something, slow the Corp down a little bit. It's basically a momentum card.
Well, that's what it is. It's a tempo changing card in a game that has a lot of dependence on tempo.
Yep.
It's in criminal, so that's a shot me in for crim. I don't know.
Yeah, the criminal could use anything they get right now.
Yeah. But so the store championship season's been going well for me. Like I was 1 win away from really competing for that last one. I played the winner, Rob, who won the last championship I was in round 3, and he was playing in Harmony MedTech.
Nice.
The whole 6 agenda MedTech,
food tech.
Yeah, but he only got 2 global foods. He had a Haiti shard, which was
interesting.
But he I think that deck did well for him, except for me, because I'd played it like 6 times in the previous month and a half.
Right.
And I think I'm in Rob's head in terms of side games now. So. But it was one of those games where the winning agenda is literally out there. It's got 2 advancements on it, and the game doesn't finish for like 6 turns because he can't afford to score it, and I just keep wearing him down on the Caprice side games. And so he does, I'll take 3. Well, I'm going to run your server 4 times and bet 0 in the side game every time.
Yeah, that's it chips away with his Capri.
So I won that one, and then we swapped it up and played. He played my NEH with I don't even remember what ID he was playing. It didn't matter. It was a turn 3 win. It was one of those wins, and the 2 losses that deck had. It was one of those wins where he won the turn before he was going to lose. So I had a 15 minutes of breaking news scored, which turns on the 24/7 Scorch combo. And he accessed like 6 agendas in 1 turn, which NEH does. Interesting note: 24/7 breaking news. So if you have a 15 minutes of breaking news and you play 24/7, forfeiting the 15 minutes to activate the breaking news.
Yep.
It only activates the when scored ability. And
that's right.
The ability on breaking news that removes the tags is in a different clause. So those tags stay around.
Yep. So yeah, they keep the 2 tags that you get from the
Did
breaking
not
news.
know that.
Yeah, very key. Kind of a douche thing to do sometimes, which is just exactly how my Harpsichord Studios deck was working through Store Champs, and it won probably about 70% of its games. And the only times it lost were usually when they get a Plascrete out, or just really lucky top decks.
So, Wizard Faust, man. So right now, I think I can't see any other deck that's more dominating than Wizard Faust. I think a lot of people are going to be packing a lot of anti-Faust technology.
No doubt.
And anti-Faust technology is not what you think it is. It's not Swordsman, it's not Turing. Although Turing is nice, but typically in decks that play Faust, Turing is hit by David, or D4 V1D. But anti-Faust technology is just high subs, so like Spiderweb.
Yeah, any like multi-sub stuff sucks.
Next Silver is awful.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a lot of Next Ice, actually.
Yeah.
That's Parasite bait in a hurry.
Spiderweb's pretty good. Something that came up today, Troll is not bad, because Troll has no subs.
Troll's pretty good, because also Faust decks tend not to run as much money as other Anarch decks, so yeah, Troll's a good one. Tollbooth.
And, one of the things I read online is people are like, yeah, I'm going to play Cybernetics Division, which is the HB start at hand size of 4. Which makes sense.
Yep, makes Faust even harder.
Yeah, yep. So I mean, when your hand size is compromised, that hurts Faust more than it hurts any other runner archetype.
Yep.
Anyway,
and right now, Faust is strong even outside of Anarch. We see some Ken Tenma decks running Faust pretty heavily, working
I suspect
quite well.
That's what I'm going to play in my next championship. Is a Ken Faust, just because I'm going to troll.
Yeah, and it's a pretty good deck actually, with the mix of Account Siphon and your Crescentiuses and stuff like that. It's good.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a store championship in Halifax, and a guy won it with a Ken Tenma deck, Josh something. I met him once, and I don't know if he created the deck or if he just tweaked it. But props out to him for making this like the number one Ken deck on Netrunner DB right now, because it plays Faust and Endless Hunger as its breaker suite. Like, who does that? Nobody does that.
That's excellent.
It's got Doppelganger in it. It's got like all this cool stuff, and it makes sense when you look at the fact that once you get your E3 out, you don't need money for anything except breaking additional subroutines.
Is that the Devil's Food Cake one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Endless Hunger and Faust with Harbingers. This guy's officially my hero because he's got a Harbinger in a Ken deck.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Iron Cash.
He's also playing Doppelganger. Yeah, that's Alex. You met him. That was Josh. He played.
That's Josh, eh? Oh yeah, look at this Monster Comic Lounge in Halifax. Sick. Yeah. Nice. I'm gonna give him a shout out there. Iron Cash on Netrunner DP. The Devil's Food Cake. I'm sure you've probably all seen this by now, anyways, on Reddit and whatnot. I didn't even notice that was him. That was excellent.
Yeah. So, all in all, my store championship season has gone well. I mean, like I said, I won that tiny one, and I placed extraordinarily well, even though it was 5 out of 10. The fact that I was literally a half point away from, or like a half foot away from facing off against Chris in the final round for the whole tournament, made me quite pleased. One little mistake in that costume, but that happens in a 10-man tournament in Netrunner. I'm quite pleased. I think I'm going to completely switch it up for my third. I'm going to play that Ken deck, and I'm going to play RP or IG or Making News. Or ETF. I don't know what I'll play as a Corp, but
I'm gonna bust out a Jinteki deck. I think I don't have any store championships left to go to. There was some Montreal ones, and I guess some guys went down to Vermont as well to check those ones out too, which looked pretty sweet. But I won't be doing any traveling for any more store championships, so it's time to bring on some jank.
Yeah, well, I mean, with Palana Foods coming out, that's an officially spoiled ID coming out on Wednesday.
I'm looking at, that's out this week. So by the time everybody at home gets to listen to this, we should have it in our hands. That's just very exciting.
Mm-hmm. For the first time, I think, I can remember in a while, this one was shipped out. Like, all the stores probably have it now. They're just not allowed to sell it until Wednesday. So, like, we're going to get it the day the Americans get it for the first time ever.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm excited
so,
I'll be playing that Kentucky deck for sure. I've got one in the waiting. I'm excited. So we'll talk about that next time.
Yeah.
Next time on TagMe. So we'll continue our store championship discussion. We've got a special guest interview that we're going to throw it over to Ottawa Store Championship winner, two-time winner actually. He won both the Ottawa Store Championships. Alex Bradley on Netrunner DB. It's Lopart. So we'll toss it over to them. So Alex here from TagMe. I'm here with Alex Bradley, who is a two-time Ottawa 2016 Store Championship winner. So congratulations to start off with.
Thanks.
I appreciate all of the Alex on Alex beatings I took.
Yeah.
During
they were
the
close,
Store
though.
Championships.
Most of them were close.
They were very close, actually, games. So next time it's going to be it'll be the other Alex's turn.
That's fair.
To be on top. So we've got a couple questions here we've lined up for you that if you would be so kind to answer, that'd be lovely.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, we like to kind of get an idea of how people got into Netrunner when we bring guests onto the show. So what's your origin story for Netrunner? How did you get into it?
How did I start Netrunner? Well, it's kind of funny because my story is very much, I saw the FFG video on YouTube and I thought, wow, this is a really good two-player game that I can play with my partner. And so I went out and I bought the core set and I had no idea what I was getting involved in. And then all of a sudden I was chasing down data packs and just trying to satisfy that competitive urge that I've had from video games for so long.
Oh, right.
So really that's how it happened, is I watched the video and I was like, oh, this is cool. I could totally get her into board games with this. And here I am, I think 3 years later.
She doesn't play anymore,
does she? She plays the occasional game.
Oh, she does play? Okay, that's good.
And it just comes down to finding decks that she can appreciate, because she's not as evil and loving the non-fun decks as much as I do.
Okay, so do you look for special jank to play with your partner?
I look mostly for things that have a clear plan and can't really be stopped by the corporation, in the sense that that Apocalypse Max DDoS deck that came out. You're just here's the plan, and I'm going in, and they have to respond to me, not the other way around.
Okay,
and,
good. That's a good.
Just strong decks in general, I guess.
Yeah, DDoS Max, so tight right now. Well, I mean, that's a pretty good way of getting into it. I think we've all pretty much seen that video now. How does it feel to win both the Ottawa Store Championships?
It feels pretty good, I guess. There's no other way of putting it. Going into the second one, I remember thinking it was going to be a huge challenge because everyone was going to be on that Dumble Fork or Fumble Dork, whatever your preferred saying it list. So everyone was going to be playing Wizard, and I thought to myself, I'm just going to bring NEH anyways and have a blast with it. And so it was fun. Yeah,
so I mean, I guess you brought NEH, and you actually were playing a different Anarch faction from most of the other people going, because I know the first Store Championships, there was only a couple Wizards, and it seemed the second one, everybody was playing Wizard now. And so what do you have a game plan that you thought about differently planning for the Wizard, but you brought...
Do you mean as the Corp?
Yeah, as your Corp. So you brought NEH.
No, I think in the first Store Champ, I was pretty much convinced that NEH with Mumba Temple was just probably the deck to beat, just because of the speed.
Right.
And I mean, if you play NEH, anyone who dirtles will probably just lose.
Oh yeah.
So I was basically banking on that. And then after having won the first one, the pressure was really off. So I figured I'll try something that is probably going to have a bad matchup, and just try to improve my play that way.
Okay, so did you change anything to the NEH deck at all? Like a separate card? Or...
So for the second for the second tournament, I actually just went to 54 and played Museums of History because I got told that that was a bad card and I should feel bad for playing it. And I thought, what a better field to test it again than a bunch of wizards.
So there you go. You won a second store champs with a 54 card deck,
right?
Which is I remember an article about the efficiency of 49 and why never to go over it. It must have been years ago now, or a year and a half ago.
I think,
probably one of the world winners, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a satellite uplink
article.
Yeah,
it was a satellite uplink article. Yeah, about why not to go over 50 cards. So that's excellent. Nice to hear a store championship at 54 cards. I love that new temple cards.
Both of them, the museum.
The museum and the Mumba Temple. So good. I'm excited to try some new Jinteki tricks.
Yes,
with those guys. Are you spoiler free? Have you looked at FFG?
I have. I don't go looking for them, but they just kind of come to me. You know, if you spend enough time.
It is an FFG official. It's on their page for the new Jinteki ID. Plana. Something.
The food one.
The food one.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to that with the temple and the museum in it, for sure. So how did you decide on your runner deck? So you brought a noise.
Yeah. So first time around, I brought noise because I felt it was really strong, and kind of like NEH where you just sometimes win because you Astro Train. Noise has the similar effect where sometimes you just win.
Right.
And so I thought that deck had that going for it. And also, I feel that whenever you come in with, like, Triple David, Triple Imp, you can basically hang with anything that gets thrown at you. Whether it be, like, high strength attacks, or you Faust through the lower stuff, or you Imp the kill pieces and all that jazz.
So you were running Faust in that deck?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I can't see anyone not doing it, right, when you have Wildside Chrono for free.
Yep. Were you running Hades Shard or anything like that?
No, there's just not the room for it, I think, with the new restrictions.
I was about to ask.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I did the same thing that everyone else did, I think, where I just lost 2 clone chips, I think.
Okay.
And I think I just put in more Davids because...
Why? Because why not?
Because I was like, well, wraparound's going to cause me some issues, so I'll just get through for free.
There you go. I like it. Do you plan to take... You kept the same deck for the second one for your runners?
Right, actually, I totally neglected to answer that part of the question. So, seeing Wizard on Netrunner DB Deck of the Week or whatever it is.
Yeah, the Wizard Cutlery one.
Yeah, it seemed really good, and I was like, I need to play this. It's going to be excellent. And then I just didn't dedicate the time to practicing with it.
Okay.
It's like I didn't have the time that week. And so it was literally just a case of being like, okay, well, I'm just going to play what I know. And again, I didn't feel as much pressure. I was just like, whatever, I'll just go and play what I have because
I've won
I'll
one,
just
I've
have
got to
fun.
buy regionals.
Yeah, I can't win 2 buys.
Yeah, I can't win 2 buys. So that's good, actually. I like that. Especially where you if you don't feel comfortable, you feel... go play what you're comfortable with.
Exactly.
Don't just grab the most hot deck, that's really great advice for anybody listening that's maybe not super experienced with the tournament scene.
Definitely, if you're going to and if you see a deck that you enjoy, like, just make sure you play with it a few times and you draft some hands and you kind of have more of an idea than, oh yeah, this is broken, I'm just going to play it and hopefully roll over everything.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't necessarily, you can kind of get that analysis paralysis if you are fresh with a deck.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So are you planning on going to see any other store championships outside of the city?
I don't think so. Okay. I had planned originally because I wasn't expecting to take 2. But now that I have, I think I'm just going to rest on my laurels for a bit.
For now. All right. That's exciting.
Yeah. Well,
I felt the same. I mean, I haven't got any championship wins, but it's a bit of a travel to get around too. So,
and it's kind of nice that we had some out of towners come in as well.
Yeah, it was great.
Because then you still got to experience that different meta, even though you didn't have to travel. Or in the past, I've always had to be the one traveling.
Yeah, and both too. We got 8 players to the first one from Montreal. Is that right?
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 cars came down, and we're like, okay, this is serious business now.
So we got some really great players came down from Montreal and made a good run for your money. So did you change your preparation at all after you won the first one? Or did you just kind of keep, like you said, you didn't have time for the Wizard deck, but was there anything else you did trying to prep yourself for the second one?
I mostly just did the same thing that I usually do when I have a very limited amount of time. I kind of decided I was just going to play the noise because I didn't have enough time.
Yep.
But for NEH, because all I was doing is going to 54, is I would just draft hands of that on Netrunner DB and be like, okay, if these are my 5 cards, what is the impact of going to 54? Do I see the cards that I want a lot less? And I know the the numbers seem to work out, and yeah, people might get a laugh of the ratios still worked out. And so, but yeah, no, I didn't notice any significant disadvantage. And I mean, it's only 5 cards, right? And a big part is I actually, after having played both, is I prefer the agenda suite at 54 because you can do things like play 6 3/2s and 3 GFIs.
Yeah,
and so then it's really strong. Yeah, it's really strong. The runner has to take 4 of your 10 agendas.
Yeah, for your 10,
which is crazy. So yeah,
very rare. The GFI is just so good in that deck. I'm a huge fan of that card. Well, I mean that's really like those are kind of the secondary questions. We'll get into the important, really meat of the interview now.
All right.
So I just need to know, what is your favorite card in Netrunner?
I think this is a tough question, and I don't know, off the top of my head, if I had to guess, it'd have to be Leela, and I don't know if that's like a cop-out answer, because it's not like a playable card, it's an ID. But
it's a card, it has a number on it.
Exactly, it has a number, I had to buy it in a pack.
Yeah, I figure you're fine there.
And so, yeah, Leela's my favorite just because of how she changes the game. Like, rush decks have to slow down. Okay. Decks that install advance, they get this really scared look on your face when they install advance and you slap down a sneak door and you just run their hand 3 times and pop it back into their hand, and it really changes the game. And there's another player in our meta who like exclusively plays Leela, and it's always a blast playing as him because it's so different.
Right.
Yeah, I know it's not like, okay, Anarch, I'm just gonna go. Hopefully, I'm gonna play this wraparound Astro, and either he has David or he doesn't. And but against Leela, it's okay. Oh, okay, I'm gonna install advance to this Astro. Hopefully he thinks it's GFI and doesn't do anything, and yeah, so Leela, definitely.
Cool. All right, that's a good answer. But more importantly, what's your least favorite? Let's spread some haterade.
That's easy. I think Caprice Nisei is by far my most hated card. I'm not aboard the Faust hate train as much as I am aboard the Nisei hate train.
The Nisei hate train. Okay, so is it because you are really bad at side games? Is that your kryptonite?
I think I'm actually pretty decent at side games. Okay. I'd say I have about a 60... No, I'm kidding.
Here's a specific number.
I don't like Caprice Nisei because I feel like in Netrunner, a lot of the information and what kind of drew me to the game in the first place was the whole bluffing side, where you put something in a remote and either it's a trap or an agenda, and the runner makes the decision to go in and get it or not, and that's kind of like where the play is.
Yep.
Whereas with Caprice, it's like, if it's rezzed, you can have perfect information and be unable to get in.
Totally.
And like, sure, it's possible to like play Vamp and there's all these counters, but still, I'll just play her on HQ then, and yeah, good luck with that.
So, what are you betting right now in our side game?
Always 0. Oh, it depends. Am I running?
You are running because you're against Nisei.
Okay, always 0.
I just bet 1 and kept you out.
Okay. Against people I don't know, I will bid 0, and against people in Ottawa, I will usually bid 1.
Interesting.
Because they know I bid 0.
Interesting. I'm gonna put Nisei in my deck.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
just put notes in.
Notes. How else do I beat you?
I think I'm. It must be world famous now for the amount of agendas I hold in my hand at any given point in the game. I specifically remember I was playing a game against a wizard, and he had a David out. I'm not sure if it was you, but
I'll tell you in a moment.
I had a singleton. I had 5 agendas in my hand. So he runs HQ, and I casually res wraparound because I'm like, whatever, I'll tax your David counters. And so he's like, no, that's fine, I'll stop. And I'm sitting there sweating bullets, and there's a spectator behind me sweating bullets as well.
That one wasn't me. I would have David it right away.
So yeah, always just run HQ, and I'm guaranteed to lose.
Slam HQ. Okay, yeah. So Sneak Door Beta in all of your decks.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good.
That's always terrifying.
All right, well, let's talk about the meta a little bit. Obviously, we can just beat you now with Sneak Door, so we get that covered.
Yeah.
What's hot around here? What's not? And is there a wild card archetype that might really change things, mess it up a little bit?
I don't know. I feel like the meta here is not too much on the meta, to put it that way, like
in terms of the global internet
meta. In Ottawa, people, I think they'll play what they want, and more what they've been practicing and what they're really good at. If I take the example of the second store championship, like I think everyone, if not everyone from Montreal, came down playing that wizard deck.
Yeah.
Right. Like I played against 4 wizards in Swiss and a Kate, but it was crazy. And then but you can't have that kind of expectation in Ottawa, right? Which is kind of why I brought the NH deck, because I was
Wayne went almost undefeated in Swiss, but he was playing...
so he was playing Valencia. Like 21 blackmails, 21 drive-bys, basically no stone unturned deck.
Yep.
He's kind of been a big proponent of that deck, I think, because he just hates Caprice Nisei, Sands City Grid.
Totally, and
traps.
it wasn't. And what's interesting, it wasn't like your World's DLR.
Right,
either,
he just plays his R&D interfaces, and he takes 4 cards off the top of R&D if you try to stall it out, and he has an infinite amount of blackmails, is basically what it comes down to.
Yep. Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, so there's him, and then there's the Leela player that I was mentioning before, and that's actually kind of funny, because if you look at my deck list from both tournaments, people will look at it and be like, why do you have an executive boot camp? And it's kind of an odd choice, but it's specifically for those 2 players, you know? Like, it has some value in other matchups, but it's specifically so I can res ice against Leela against Valencia.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're a bit off the course, and so don't be afraid to play decks that will lose to the Netrunner deck of the week, because nobody's playing it.
Yeah. That's a really great point, actually. Yeah, because even my wizard wasn't even the same. It wasn't a cutlery wizard that I brought, and I think that's the true for the other. I think there was one other.
I had to lose
wizard, it was not a cutlery either. So
I remember I had to lose an Astro to you, because you were like, I played a toll booth, and I was like, okay, he's only got 3 credits. He can't get in, and then you play Run Amok, and I couldn't res the toll booth and lose 8, so I lost.
I was just telling Kevin last night about how that was an MVP in a couple of times. Yeah, for sure. Run Amok is so good.
Just out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. You're like, oh, do you think I'm gonna fork it? No. Or spoon, I guess. Yeah. But no. Run Amok. You're not. You res it, you lose it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I mean, that's most of the questions I had for you, but one really important one is, what is your opinion on when Juice wears tights?
Juice wears tights?
Yeah.
Only when there's been a spill, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you
got to keep it contained.
It's okay when there's a spill and Juice can wear tights?
Yes.
Okay. I don't like it when Juice wears tights.
Okay.
What would you say rice is good for?
I'm trying really hard to not spit out that Mitch Hedberg joke.
I'm glad you got the reference.
Okay.
That was the sole reason for the question. But you did miss the Dane Cook reference in the last one.
Okay, that's right. I don't watch much Dane Cook.
That was it. So thank you. I really appreciate you joining us on TagMe, and hopefully we can have you back at some point.
For sure.
Is there anything you'd like to say out there to the listeners at home?
I hadn't thought of this. This wasn't one of the questions I prepared.
I like to put all of our guests on the spot.
I see that. I think if there's one thing I can say to everyone, is just I get a lot of messages where people say is this viable? And that's the question I hate the most. Because I think if you just everything can be
right,
and viable is very you have to accept certain bad matchups, and you have to.
And plan for those.
And basically be am I okay with losing those? Are those at the odds? And basically that's what I did when I went with NH. I was I probably lose the NH Wizard matchup. And I remember the day after Dien was going to a store champ, and he was give me your list from yesterday. And I was like, okay, let's play on Jinteki, and you play the Wizard deck, I'll play NH, and I'll show you how it's done. And then he trounced me, because I made a huge play mistake. But I learned a lot from it. So I guess those are the 2 things: is don't be afraid to play whatever you want, and be aware of what you're sacrificing or what you're giving up. And then also when you lose, I'm particularly bad at this. Is I get I beat myself up about it. But just try to learn and not make that mistake again. Is what it comes down to. Yeah.
I think they'll really appreciate that insight for sure.
Yeah.
We do one other thing on the podcast is usually at the end we'll do some form of kudos, which is just give a shout out to something. It doesn't necessarily have to be Netrunner related that you're using in your day-to-day life, or maybe a book you've read or something that you've been enjoying lately that feel like you need to give a shout out to. It doesn't necessarily. It could be arbitrary. I'll go first to give you an example.
Sure.
But, I just thought I might bring you in on the kudos.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give kudos to geometry.
Okay.
So a little bit of math. We're in my basement recording right now, and as Alex can see, I've been working on a table, and that's why I kind of thought, you know what, I think geometry has really been a good treat for me lately.
Okay.
Because it took me a long time to figure out how to do this, and geometry helped. Math is good, so
awesome.
So I really like math. It deserves some kudos right now.
Actually, one thing that does spring to mind, and I guess it is Netrunner related, so it's kind of lame. I guess.
That's fine.
Or it's more gaming.
Next time, though.
Yeah, I'll think about it. So I want to give a kudos or a shout out to the players who also TO for like any event. It doesn't have to be Netrunner, just like games in general, because it's a lot of work.
For those at home, TO is tournament organizer.
Yeah, so the people who actually run the tournaments, who keep up to date on the rules so that they can help people out if ever there's a misunderstanding. Because I think it's like a significant investment of time to be able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's great that they're enablers of like the great community that we have. Yeah.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I know those. Yeah, I don't want to name anyone because I'll forget some. Especially now that, I've been to Worlds and King of Servers and all that jazz, but just there's a lot of volunteers in the community that do so much.
Awesome. To all of the great TOs out there that have made this possible for us to compete in this awesome game.
Kudos.
So, well, thank you very much for joining us this evening. And
thanks for having me.
Till next time, stay frosty. And we're back. But before we go on into any fun segments talking about cards and things, how about a word from our sponsors? This episode of TagMe is brought to you by Cyberdex, the originators of the Cyberdex virus suite. Never before has the net been as dangerous and filled with defensive viruses as today. Try a free trial of Cyberdex virus protection now at www.cyberdex.com/tagme, and be sure to use the promo code TAGSandHorses to check out and enjoy your free Cyberdex trial for 30 days. See why the Wayland Corporation depends on Cyberdex for their virus protection. Cyberdex Virus Protection, keeping your network future-proof. So, Kevin, do you have a card, a single card that we would like to spotlight?
Would you like to do a spotlight in a single card, Alex?
Spotlight a single card, please.
All right. What do we got? We got card 65. Ooh.
What's card 60? That's in the core set.
No, the way... Yeah, that's actually from Double Time.
Oh, that's from Double Time.
Yeah. So, excuse me while I look up this
Wait, how
card.
many cards were in this core set?
Well, no, it's just my ID section's all messed up.
Way to screw it up.
No, it's not messed up. It's just, that's the way databases work when they sort alphabetically.
Data buy.
Data buy.
Data buy.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to look up this card because I have no idea what it is. It's from Double Time. It is a Jinteki card called Marker.
Oh, Marker. That's a piece of ice.
Is it?
That is a piece of ice. And what Marker does...
Marker is a code gate. It's a 3-strength code gate with one subroutine. It says, the next piece of ice the runner encounters gains end the run after all its subroutines for the remainder of the run. That's why we haven't seen it, because it's weird.
Because it's weird, and it doesn't... I mean, it's very cheap. 0 cost to res, 3-strength code gate. 3-strength code gate, Yogg runs rampant for a long time there before this sort of new Faust era. So this could actually be a decent anti-Faust card now.
Yeah, with 3 strength, you're dropping 2 cards just for the privilege to not drop another card on the next piece of ice.
Yeah, that's right.
And if the next piece of ice is something stupid like a pop-up window or whatever, it's like,
now you have a pop-up window that's pay 1, and then an official end the run with no awesome paid 1 to get by it. A pop-up window that actually ends the run. That would be such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why I think we don't see this, and you see it the same thing with Inazuma, is that ice that depends on another ice to be spatially relevant to it, so you have to install them in a specific order, you have to draw them both to be a real pain in the ass, it's playable, but it's not as easy. Yep. And so, you're slotting in ice that you're not going to be able to play if you draw it firsthand, kind of deal. I think that makes it difficult to play with. I think, in crazy jank decks, this card could be awesome. Or in specific long-range decks.
This could go in your new, the new grid that just came out, Mumba?
Mumbad City Grid, yeah. Well, I mean... I think if Mumbad City Grid does what I think it will do, and I've seen it work, I think Corps are going to be playing a lot more ice-moving technology, shall we say, whether it be 10 Line or whether it be Sunset. And in that world, this works, So you could put it out on R&D first turn, and then put a couple other pieces of ice in front of it, and then either Tenma or sunset them around.
Very interesting. Not a heavily played card right now. Very one influence.
Yeah.
I mean,
the three strength code gate with one sub. I mean,
these almost as soon as we saw these, they pretty much just got stuck in the box because of Yogg. So that's really what it boils down to. Very rarely, if we saw a 3 strength code gate, it was worth playing. At 0 cost is nice because it means it forced them to put down a Yogg. But again, like you said, it needs to be a positional ice, so it has to have something behind it. It's very similar to Chum that way. I think Chum is a stronger choice when it comes to positional ice.
Yeah. I think Chum is a stronger choice for specific strategies, whether you want to make something incredibly pointy, where Marker doesn't really do that. It just says, oh,
especially in
this
ice
which was lame. Yeah. This ice which was lame now is
slightly less lame.
Just lame with an end run, this ice which was in pointy already, like, oh yeah, now the Neural Katana has an end run behind it. Well, chances are you were already going to be able to break the Neural Katana. You can break an additional subroutine. I'm just trying to think of, cases where this might work really good. I mean, if you think Bioroid Ice, adding another subroutine behind an Eli sucks.
Yeah.
If that's your way to get through it, or like a Heimdall, or a Janus type deal, if you have this in front of a Janus.
Yep, and it can also make those pointy Bioroids too also be stoppage. That's a good point. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, so all of a sudden, your server that they could get in for 2 clicks, they now need 3 clicks. Not a big deal. Maybe it turns Orion Knight on.
Yeah, could turn Orion Knight on. I mean, yeah, I don't know what kind of things he's into. I prefer long walks on the beach, sunsets and sunrises.
Yeah, I'm thinking Ryan Knight might more so enjoy destroying neurons.
Yeah, he might be. His is very. He's a very cerebral kind of guy.
So obviously we're grasping at straws here to try to make Marker work, and frankly, I don't even remember seeing this before. Like, that's how.
It took you a while to figure out what
how
it was.
Yeah, well, like, I'm looking at the art. Don't remember it. I go, like, I'm gonna go up to my box and make sure it's in there. Like, maybe I just shoved them under a table that was wobbly.
Fold it up a few times. I have an idea. Actually, why don't we have a little fun and see if the listeners at home would like to make some janky decks with this card in it, or even just come up with a janky combo that's actually seems functional in a deck. So we could use it and talk about name a deck, a janky deck of the month in our next episode.
Whatever you got,
if
it's you got a combo that works really awesome at Marker, or you've got a deck that says Marker is the linchpin, or you got a deck that wins that has Marker in it.
Yeah, send it along, or go build it. Shoot us a tweet, #Jank of the month.
That's a long hashtag.
Nah.
Hashtag JOTM.
JOTM. #JOTM. Okay. Official tag me hashtag. #JOTM. Jack of the month. So make a deck, put Marker in it, find me on jinteki.net, and then beat me with it. Or just send it to us and we'll have a look and it'll be fun. And we'll play it.
And you have the prize of nothing.
No prize, just fun. Just funsies.
Yeah, so in terms of prizes, Alex, can you finally announce a winner?
Very exciting. Very exciting. I hope you all checked out the art on our website, northerngamingnetwork.com/tagme. We have an official contest winner for our custom art, full, magical, lovely piece of ice that is Data Raven. And without further ado, Kevin, could I have a drum roll? Congratulations to Hillary Litke. I apologize if I mispronounce your last name, but congratulations. You've won yourself a playset of custom art Data Ravens. And I will have to put the clause in. This is not officially FFG sanctioned. It's just going to be a it's an art. If you choose to play it in your deck, you might want to mention that it is technically a proxy. But I hope you enjoy the art. Please send us your information to our Gmail, which is northerngamingnet@gmail.com.
Yeah, congratulations, Hillary. That's pretty cool. I look forward to possibly seeing photos.
Yeah, absolutely. Please send us photos once we get them to you. So just send us that information. We'll have them sent your way as soon as possible.
And double kudos if you have a photo of our data raven with a marker in front of it.
Double kudos. And I just picturing that now. This is going to be like a whiteboard marker in front of the data raven.
Marker data raven wouldn't be awful. That's what I'm looking at it. That would be pretty bad.
It would certainly suck, but I mean, you can also just not take the tag and end the run right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so I would like to thank Alex Bradley again for being our guest today. Thank you for the interview. I hope the rest of your net runnering into the future goes as swimmingly. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we say goodbye? And good luck to all of our friends at home listening for their store championship season.
Goodbye and good luck on your store championship season.
Thanks for listening, everybody. To get a hold of us, to send us your love, hate, or whatever you want to say, to northerngamingnetwork.com/tagme. You can check us out on Twitter @NorthGameNet. Instagram is also @NorthGameNet. You can find me personally at Harvolev, HARVOLEV. Kevin is @KJNCL. You can also get us on YouTube, youtube.com/user/NorthernGamingNet. So thank you, and until next time, from the icy north, stay frosty.